up, tribe? How you guys doing? Welcome back to another review of 90 Day Fiance, Season 8, Episode 3, and we got Niecy.
I woke up.
She's been asleep for the last hour snoring. So.
You know what? Say what you will.
I did. I'm gonna tape you the next time you're snoring. I'm gonna tape it and I'm gonna play it back for you. Then you probably gonna say, "Oh, that ain't really you. That's not really me. I downloaded that from some app." That's what you're gonna probably. You're probably still not gonna believe me.
Let's proceed.
Anyway, move up a little bit because you look like you're in the shadow. Move up a little bit. Okay.
I feel like we should start.
Whatever. We're fine. So the episode we have. Let's start with Jovi and Yara.
First of all, y'all watched the show. You looking the same way we looking at each other right now. Why are they still together?
So Jovi takes Yara to meet his mom. They go down to the bayou, and of course they're in the country, and she don't like being in the country. But he said, "Hell, when I went to go visit, you live in the country too, so I don't understand what the problem is. Like we both live in the country."
She don't want to be with him.
She just trying to get to America.
Like America, anywhere. She's spending the coin. She don't want to be with him.
So they were able to convince her to spend the night or whatever. Her mom cooked. Her mom cooked like a Cajun dish, and I thought it was interesting that she didn't cook gumbo. She cooked something else who the name escapes me right now. But I feel like a lot of people just automatically go to gumbo when they think of like New Orleans and all of that. Mm-hmm. So
I never had a Cajun person cook for me.
But I'm saying when you think of New Orleans, you think of like a dish.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
so I thought it was
jambalaya.
right. So I thought it was cool that she cooked something different. It still had a seafood base and it still had a roux base to it. But anyway, now I'm gonna give Yara some points for this. The food, she didn't like it, but she didn't insult his mother to her face. Now later on that night, she told Jovi that the food didn't taste good and it was nasty. But when her mom was like, "Oh, you like it?" She was like, "Ooh, it's good." And she ate it. Which, listen, for Yara, that's saying a lot.
But I wonder, when I was in Russia, the food was like, I'm a vegetarian, so maybe for me, that's why I just like was not into it. But like, no. It just wasn't here for me, like the food.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. She didn't like the food, but she didn't insult his mother to her face. And I give her credit for that because she's not a nice person.
She is not, and she will insult Jovi to his face.
Well, but again, I would much rather, if my boyfriend didn't enjoy my mom's cooking, I would much rather him say it to me one-on-one than him to say it in front of my mom and possibly, make her feel bad or whatever.
True, but I feel like you better eat, just eat everything.
She did. She ate it. She
That's
just said it later on. Yeah.
Eat
and
everything.
She didn't bring it up.
Right,
and then she didn't bring it up. He brought it up. Like, so, and she was like, the food wasn't good. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, they're at dinner eating this food that, Yara don't really like. And the subject of a wedding comes up. And Yara says, "Listen, I don't want a wedding because my family can't come. And I don't want my family to feel bad that we have this nice wedding, this huge celebration that they can't be a part of. And so we're just going to go, like, to Vegas or something and just go get married."
I understand that.
I absolutely understand it. I do. And I understand her irritation because let me tell you what one of my biggest pet peeves is. One of my biggest pet peeves is when somebody asks you a question, you give them an answer, and then they change the question as if your answer is going to change. Mm-hmm. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. His mother just kept digging and digging and digging, and Yara was like, "I'm not understanding because I already said no. Like, why does your mother keep asking me the same thing over and over again? I said no. My answer's not going to change." So I wasn't even mad at Yara for that. No. Because the mother just kept saying, "Well, I don't understand. Well, I get it that your family's not going to be here, but. Well, there's no but. Like,
yeah, if you're the bride, it's your show.
Right.
It just is what it is.
Right. And she was like, I don't want to be posting all these pictures of us having fun, and my mom can't be here, my family. So, and even if it wasn't, like, I know that they're traveling, but remember, because of COVID, even if they could have come over just for the wedding, they still couldn't come. Yeah. Because of COVID, whatever. So anyway, so later on that night, that's when she was having this conversation with Jovi, like, "Listen, your mama food wasn't good. Your mama was getting on my nerves, asking about, this damn wedding. I done said it once. I don't understand why I have to keep explaining myself and have to keep repeating what I had to say.
And when you already didn't want to spend the night, like, that's the type of stuff that be like, so how much longer we staying here?
Right, right. So, child, and the other thing that happened was he got a phone call. Now, remember, he already was going to have to leave for a month of their 90-day visa to work. His job called while they were there, and basically he's going to have to leave even earlier.
That's like the same thing another girl did on another season in her marriage. I can't think of her name. I always want to call her Tanya. But she married Sinjin, and that's the same thing she did, and their relationship is horrible. They're still married. Relationship is horrible, and I feel like this is a different version of that.
Yeah. So, all right. So we have a new couple in this episode, Andrew and Amir. Now, Andrew lives in California. He said he runs a daycare with his mom. So him and his mom have this daycare together. And he's dating Amir. Now, Amir lives in France. She's half French, half Egyptian. Amir, again, seems like she's very high maintenance. Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. They met up one time in Vegas, and he said that, she looks like a runway model. Everything was cool. They had a great time. He proposed. Boom. So they're engaged. Now,
I said first time. Right.
Now, their problem is they got their visa, but it was in the midst of COVID. Now, here's what I don't understand. Again, I'm sure they were telling the truth. But what didn't make sense to me was, if people literally could not travel, why weren't those visas put on hold? Like, how is the clock still running and I literally can't get to you? Like, how does the 90 days start and we're not even together yet? But either way, their 90 days had started, and they were actually, at that point, they were down to 60 days left of the 90-day visa. And so he found a loophole that a lot of couples were using, where she literally could not fly into the United States from Europe, but she could fly into Mexico. So he was going to drive down to Mexico, or probably drive down to Mexico from where they were in California, meet up with her in Mexico, quarantine, however long they had to quarantine, and then they were going to drive back into the United States. So that was like a loophole that he said a lot of couples who had the K-1 visas were doing.
And at the end of the day, you could just spend like 20 days together at that point.
So his mama is not here for it because his mother is worried, because this was at the height of COVID. And she was like, you're literally going to another country. Like, I'm nervous, I'm concerned, I'm worried. His sister was not here for it because his sister, first of all, he was missing his sister's baby shower to do all of this. And his sister wasn't here for it because, for a lot of the same reasons. Like, this just doesn't make any sense. Like, why can't y'all just wait? Isn't there some paperwork or something y'all could do or whatever? Which is what I was thinking. And over in France, her daddy wasn't here for it. Now, the way she made it seem like to her father was that Andrew was like pressuring her and made her feel like she had to do it or the relationship was over. So that's the way she was sort of like relaying it to her father. And her father was just like, that's not love. I don't like this man. Why is he making you go to Mexico? It's not safe. It's dangerous. We got COVID. And from her father's point of view, I get it. Yeah. Especially the way she made it seem like. Now, when she's talking to Andrew and on the phone with Andrew, it seems like she was down with the plan. She was nervous. Don't get me wrong. She was still nervous to fly and all of that. But she was down for it. Like, she wasn't saying no. But anyway. So there's that. That's them. We'll see how that work out. Let's do Mike and Natalie. I'm going to say Tariq and Hazel for last. Okay. Let's do Mike and Natalie. So Mike and Natalie are still in Seattle. They had that nice little hotel stay. And they actually doing pretty good, right? They're going to meet up.
Yeah, that's how it starts off. Right. Always. Right. Always with them.
Right. So they're going to meet up with Uncle Bo. And I remember Uncle Bo is his uncle/cousin who was living with him. And he put him out so that she would feel comfortable. And I feel like Mike's plan is, I want them to meet. Because remember, Mike was like, hopefully he can move back in a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. So Mike wants them to meet, get to know each other, become real cool, so that eventually he can get them all back together. Now, that is certainly not the intention of Natalie.
She like, okay, hey, Uncle Bo, you drinking whiskey right now?
Right, like
this early?
Right, she low-key was calling him an alcoholic.
Yeah, she definitely was.
Because she was like, so how many of those can you drink in one meal?
Don't
do that. That wasn't nice.
Can you delete this?
I'm not deleting it. Uncle Bo has a speech impediment.
I have a speech impediment.
What speech impediment do you have?
I have a list.
I've never noticed.
Yeah, I have a list. You can hear when I say list.
I've never noticed. Anyway, he doesn't have any like front teeth, and I think that is part of it.
I think that's the major part of it, cause
Uncle Bo seems like a really nice guy, but low-key, I think he probably
was on some stuff.
I think he's had some challenges in his life, but he seems like a really nice guy.
He's sweet.
Yeah. So they were having lunch, and he seemed really understanding of the situation. He told him that he understood, that he had their blessing, but he obviously was really cool about it. But the funny thing I thought about with Natalie was Natalie won her ring back
the entire time.
But my thing is, but you gave him the ring back, so he gets to take his time. I feel like he gets to decide when you get to have it back.
Yeah, she's like, it feels so awkward when people ask why I'm here, and I tell them, and then I look down, and then it's like, no ring. And it's like, well, you know what? You had a ring, and you couldn't even say that you love the man who gave you the ring. So what's the... If you can't say you love me and we're engaged, what's the point of us being engaged?
And you literally threw the ring back at him. Like, it wasn't even like he was like, I'm not ready for this. You literally was like, well, boom, take your ring back. So how about you get it when I feel like giving it to you?
Exactly.
And I don't feel like giving it to you yet. Last but not least on this episode, we have daggone Tariq and Hazel. Now listen. First of all, Tariq he met his friend at the,
Where did they meet?
Oh no, they're not the last couple. I'm sorry, we missed Brandon and Julia. We'll go back and do them because we done already started with Tariq. We'll go back and do them. I feel like we were missing something, but we'll get to Brandon and Julia in a minute. So Tariq and Hazel, Tariq went and met up with his friend at like Men's Warehouse to get a suit. Well, it was a store like that. I mean, it was just a store with suits.
Yeah.
He wanted a powder blue tuxedo because he said that's Hazel's favorite color.
On some like Dumb and Dumber type stuff.
That's exactly what he looked like. He looked like an extra from Dumb and Dumber. His friend did everything in her power to talk him out of that damn suit. I mean, she put him in darker blue suits. She said, why don't you do a powder blue shirt and do like a darker suit? Like, she tried, I will give her credit. She tried everything in her power to get him out that suit.
Also, remember what she was wearing. From head to toe.
She looked like she had some challenges herself. But she did try to get him out that powder blue suit. Like somebody should have got her out that wig. But anyway, moving on. I'm just saying. Moving on. So, he goes to the airport with this damn powder blue suit, a bow tie, and I really feel like he had on white shoes. I really feel like he had on white shoes. Now, he is still stressing about telling Hazel about reaching out to the ex-girlfriend and Hazel's reaction and da-da-da-da-da. I feel like Hazel really ain't gonna give a damn as long as Hazel get her a piece. I mean, not of that same girl.
Yeah.
I'm not of that same girl, but, I mean, like, because she want her girlfriend.
She gonna be mad for a little bit, and then she gonna get over it.
Right. So he picks her up from the airport, and she was like, well, how long till we get to your house? He was like, our house. I give him credit because he kept correcting her. It was like, our house. This is our house now. You're going to our house. I'm not going to my house,
I like stuff like that.
Yeah, he was real cool about that. And then when they got to his house, their house, and she was going to get out the car, he was like, close that door. He was like, I opened the door for you. He was like, don't do that. I got you. And I was like, that is so cute. Okay, that's so chivalrous. Oh, okay.
But I feel like also a question is this a front because of how guilty you feel?
Oh, the other thing we found out, and you already knew this, but him and his brother do not speak because they were talking about him. Well, he was with his friend at the warehouse, the men's warehouse. she asked him about the wedding and stuff, and she was like, "Are you going to invite your brother?" And he was like, "Hell no." He was like, "I don't speak to my brother," because his brother gave him a really hard time about dating Hazel, and like she's just using you, and she just wants you for your money and what you can do for her, whatever, get her to the United States. And like he actually like came after her about her son and why would she be so willing to leave her son.
It was real nasty.
He was really nasty. And then the brother turned around and did the exact same thing, and now he quarantining in the Philippines with his new girl. Like, so him and the brother fell out. Okay. So, all right, so now they're back at the house. What is up with these men not cleaning the damn house before they bring these women home? She walks in the house, and first of all, she's overwhelmed because he looks like he has a nice house. And of course, where she was living in the Philippines, she was like, wow, this is a lot. Like, even something as simple as he was showing her the dishwasher, and she was just like, what? Like, she's never seen a dishwasher before. And she was like, yeah, I think I'll be washing dishes by hand. I think it's better. Like, she just wasn't impressed with all of that. Because it was just it was really overwhelming. Yeah. It was really, really overwhelming for her. And, then she was looking around the house, and she was like, I mean, the house isn't clean. The house is dirty. And he was like, what you mean? He was like, it's clean. But, like, and I do feel like there were little things that made it look worse than it really was. For example, he had dirty dishes.
Yeah.
Like,
dirty dishes, that's like an easy giveaway.
Right. Like, you could have washed the dishes before you went to pick up from the damn airport.
Or at least put them in the dishwasher.
Or, right. You have a whole dishwasher there, okay? Then he had, like, some of his daughter's, like, stuff was, like, everywhere. Right. And
I feel like
to
that's
him,
normal when you got a kid.
and that's what I was gonna say. To him, that's probably just normal. Like, his daughter plays with her stuff, but for her, I guess walking into the house, for her it just looked junky. It just looked like it was just a lot. And she even said to him, she was like, "Did you like wait for me to get here to clean? Like, is this what you did? Like, you wait for me to get here so I can clean up?"
And yeah, and that's a reasonable assumption. Like.
Right, but I feel like that's the second guy that we saw because
but Jovi only had that broken table that he probably
he had dishes and stuff like that too. He had empty beer bottles and because he be drinking. But
don't comfort Jovi.
Oh, I see. Y'all know she liked Jovi, right? She got a little crush on Jovi, I think. But the same thing with Mike and Natalie. When they finally did, I forgot to say this part. But when they finally did get back to the house, Natalie was just not here for it. She was like, he lives in a barn. Like, she was so unimpressed with his house.
But that's also Natalie. Because, like, if I recall correctly, I mean, like, I don't think she was living in, like, an apartment in the Ukraine, but, like
she didn't even like the fact that the man had a cat. Like, she was running from the cat, and she was like, I'm a dog person. But my thing is, I know he had a cat because literally when y'all were on that FaceTime call, the cat was sitting in his lap. I saw the cat. So I know the man got a cat. You know what I mean?
I think that she just likes to be difficult.
Just crazy. So anyway, last but not least, we have Brandon and Julia. Now, Brandon and Julia are still in D.C. This the next morning. Brandon didn't get him none the night before. He mad and frustrated. And he trying to figure out what he going to do to get Julia in a good mood so he can get him a little piece, okay, before they get back to the farm. And so it's that morning, they're getting up. He brings her breakfast. He was like, it's time to get up, rise and shine. Now, mind you, she is probably jet lagged and everything else. But his mama done planned out the whole damn day.
Which is so annoying.
Right. And she told him that. She said, it is annoying and I don't want to go. And he talked her.
She told him that.
Right. And he talked her into going. And so they're sightseeing. They went to the monument. They went to the World War II memorial. She was like, all this history, I don't understand none of this.
She was like, look, I just want selfie stick, and I just want to say, I'm in America.
Right.
You're not. Where are you? I was like, dang, girl.
Not you're not.
That's literally what she said. That's literally what the girl said.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yes.
So Brandon gets enough. He tries to talk to his mom, right? Because the whole time, Julia's like, you got to talk to your mother. Go talk to your mother. You better go talk to your mother. So he's trying to talk to his mama, but guess what? She ain't listening, and she did not change her mind. So Brandon don't even know how to tell her. So he finally gets enough balls to at least say, Mama, we're not going to dinner with y'all. We made our own plans for dinner. We want some alone time. His mother was so not having it. But the father kind of jumped in and was like, well, I guess it's just the two of us for dinner tonight. And she was like, I guess so. She was not happy. She was not happy about it. So they end up going out to dinner, and he tries to explain to Julia that basically, yeah, it's not happening. My mama wasn't going for it. And he was trying to explain to her why they have to live with their mom, live with the parents. You know, he was letting her know, like, listen.
Blew a bag on her.
Right, like, I done spent all my money on you over the last 2 years or however long we've been dating. Like, trips to France ain't free, bruh. Like, what do you, like...
Especially when he paying for everything.
Right, like, I kill roaches for a living. I'm not a millionaire. That's what he does. He does pest control.
But you don't gotta say it like that.
Well, how am I supposed to say it? How else would you say? Give me another way of saying pest control.
Alright, keep that.
I'm just saying, what?
I mean, you're right.
I mean...
It just doesn't sound good.
And it sounds like, and it's no disrespect. Listen, I don't put nobody down for having a good, honest job. Like, I ain't even mad at you. He could be knocking people over the head and robbing them. So I ain't mad about it. I'm just saying he's not a millionaire. Yeah. He probably was financially good until he met you, because he was living with his parents. He makes money working on the farm with them, and he's got a 9-to-5. So he probably was good. But because the visa is expensive, he took a trip to see you in Russia. Then he paid for y'all to come to France. Like, that wasn't cheap.
He probably, I think, did he say, I know he is probably, what, in the early tens of thousands, or maybe even
I don't know, but he said he done maxed out all his credit card. Like, he's in debt. He's in debt. So, probably cleaned out his savings. You know, whatever little money he had. Right. So, she was even like, well, I wish you had told me you ain't had no money before I came here. She was like, I wish you had said that. And then she told him, either me and you sleeping in the same bed, or I'm going home. Like, I'm not going to be here. She said she went through this with her ex-boyfriend. She lived with her ex-boyfriend and the mother, and it was a problem. They were always fighting. There was conflict, and she ain't doing that again. And so she told him twice. There were 2 separate times that she told him, either you going to get your mama together, or I'm out.
But he not going to get his mom together.
Right. So how long you think she going to be here? Are they going to get married? Is she going to stay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because it's like, you're already in America, and if you had better options, I feel like you would have
exercised them.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
So that's what it is, you guys. Let us know what you think. Any final words? All right. Drop it in those comments. Peace.